Hey everybody. Today's practice is just a little bit different. I don't always have an hour or an hour and a half or an hour and 15 minutes to dedicate to my yoga practice every single day. And I know a lot of you are the same way. So sometimes I have to compress what I'm doing into a shorter amount of time, but I still want to get the same benefits. So that's what this practice is. It's about 30 minutes long, but it's still going to be a great workout, a great energizing routine, and a great time to set aside for yourself to kind of focus and be present. So starting in child's pose, feet together, knees apart, stretching your arms forward, reaching forward, and just relaxing into your breath. Starting to lengthen your exhales and your inhales, turning on that powerful Ujjayi breath. On an inhale, come to your hands and knees. And when you feel comfortable, start a few rounds of cat and cow tilts. You don't have to spend a lot of time here, but spend enough time that you can really connect the movement with the breath. Big inhales, looking up, lifting the tailbone up. Big exhales, squeezing everything in and rounding the spine. On an inhale, come to a neutral spine. Walk your hands forward a bit, and then exhale, pushing into downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hips. Remember to keep your shoulders squared towards the front of the mat. So you're getting just a light twist as you push that heel over towards the left. Inhale, straighten that right leg and bring it back down with an exhale. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Bend the knee, open the hips. Really keeping that upper foot engaged, pressing the left heel over towards the right. Inhale, lift the left leg, and back to downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in, empty out, breathe in. Empty all the way out. And then step to the front of your mat and come into ragdoll. Just relaxing forward, bending your knees as much as you need to. Really getting a sense of your feet being planted into the mat, pulling energy up from the ground through your strong legs, engaged thighs, lifting your kneecaps up, but letting your upper body just be loose and relax. Letting the weight of your head pull your spine longer as you just let go of any tension that might be in your shoulders or in your neck. Walk your feet together, release your hands, and bow forward. Halfway lift, and reach all the way up towards the ceiling. Keeping that same energy in your feet, pulling up from the ground, legs strong and engaged. And now just sending it all the way up through your fingertips. Each breath in and each breath out. Take a big inhale and go up and back if you can. And then bow forward all the way down. Breathe in, halfway lift. And step back to high plank as you exhale. Take a couple breaths here. Really find the alignment in this pose so that your hips aren't too high and aren't too low. Staying really strong and connected in that breath. Exhale, low plank. Upward facing dog. And breathe here. Just exploring each one of these poses. We flow in and out of them so quickly. It's important to take a little bit of time as we're getting warmed up to really see what's going on in our bodies with each one. Big exhale back to downward facing dog. Empty all the way out. And once you're empty, jump towards the front of your mat. Halfway lift. And then bow forward, exhaling. Reach up, lift up, fill up. And then bow forward with a big exhale. Halfway lift. And then high to low plank with a long exhale. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. And breathe here. Take one more deep breath in. Empty all the way out. And then jump towards the front of your mat. Halfway lift. Bow forward. Inhale, reach up, lift all the way up. And then bow forward, exhaling. Halfway lift. High to low plank, all the way out. If you have trouble doing that all in one exhale, feel free to stop and break it up like I just did there. All the way back to downward facing dog. And breathe here. Big breath out all the way. And then jump towards the front of your mat. Halfway lift. Bow forward. Bend your knees and reach up for Utkatasana. Really tilting the tailbone down to get the proper alignment in your spine, lifting up through your chest, sending energy through your fingertips, all the while your feet are strong and engaged, pressing down into the mat. Bow forward. Halfway lift. And jump back to chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward. Warrior one. And inhale as you come up. Again, taking time to explore this pose before we start flowing in and out of it. See what's here for you today. On this side, it's probably different than yesterday. It's going to be different than the other side. Just explore. Big breath in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Big inhale. Come all the way down, high to low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left foot forward. Warrior one. Yeah, take time to work out all the creaks and the pops. And just find your warrior pose for today. Take a really, really big breath in, up and back, and then high to low plank, all the way down. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in, empty all the way out, and then jump forward. Halfway lift, bow down deep. Bend your knees, reach up, Utkatasana, and then fold forward. Halfway lift, Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right foot, warrior one. Inhale, lift up. And then all the way back down, high to low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left leg forward, warrior one. And all the way back down, high to low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take one more deep breath in. Empty all the way out. And then jump to the front of your mat. Halfway lift. Bow forward. Bend your knees. Reach up. Big inhale. And then fold forward all the way down. Halfway lift. And chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right foot forward, warrior one. Inhale and come up. And then all the way back down, high to low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left foot forward, warrior one. Inhale, lift up. All the way down, high to low plank. Long exhale. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. And breathe here. Now we're going to kind of vary our sun salutations, and we're going to go through the same set of poses, but on one leg. And so we'll do each sun salutation on each side. So just follow along with the first one. I don't do it exactly perfect, but you'll get the idea. Take an inhale, lift your right leg up. Exhale. Jump forward on that left leg. Inhale. Utkatasana. And fold forward into standing splits. Halfway lift, warrior three. And chaturanga with one leg. Upward facing dog, one-legged. And all the way back to three-legged dog. Step forward, warrior one. Inhale. And all the way back down, high to low plank, keeping that right leg up. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. And set that foot down. And breathe here. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, step it forward. Warrior three. Standing splits. Utkatasana, really squeeze that left leg in. All the way back down, standing splits. Warrior three, lift up. And chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, three-legged dog. Step your left foot forward, warrior one. Inhale. All the way back down, low plank, keeping that left leg up. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, all the way up. And set your foot down. So now we'll go through it again now that we're a little more familiar with it on each side. It took me a second to kind of get the hang of it too. Inhale, lift your right leg up. Exhale, step forward. Warrior three, standing splits. Utkatasana, one-legged, squeeze the right knee in and all the way down to standing splits. Warrior three, sending that right leg back, and chaturanga. As many hops as it takes. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, three-legged dog. Warrior one, inhale and come up. And then all the way back down, high to low plank, keeping that right leg up. Upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Just one breath. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Exhale, jump forward. Warrior three. Standing splits. Utkatasana, squeezing that left leg in. Really squeeze it in tight. Standing splits all the way down on an exhale. Warrior three, fill up. And chaturanga, keeping that left leg strong, sending energy through it. Upward facing dog. Down dog. Step forward, warrior one. Take an extra breath if you need to, and then all the way back down. High to low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Just a little way to add a little bit more intensity in a short amount of time. Inhale, right leg up. Step it forward. Low lunge. Go ahead and drop that back knee down. Point the left toe. And really sink your hips towards the mat. Plant your left hand, lift your right hand up, and come into a light twist. You really want to keep your knee from falling out to the side, keeping that right knee really engaging in towards the center of the mat. You can see my knees kind of splaying out a little bit. You really want to try and bring that in with the twist. Now bend the back knee and take that left foot with your right hand. You should be able to get a good stretch in your quads here. And if that's feeling good, add a little resistance. So really push the foot into the hand, and that'll help open the chest at the same time. Release the foot. Plant your hands under your shoulders, come up, and downward facing dog on an exhale. Inhale, lift your left leg up, and step it forward to low lunge. Drop the back knee, point the right toe, and send your hips down. So you should really feel this pose in your right hip flexor, maybe some in your left butt as well. And just stay there, really opening up that hip. Plant the right hand, lift the left arm up, getting a nice twist, but being conscious not to dump into that right shoulder. Keeping that left knee squeezing in towards center, and that'll help keep your hips in line. Bend the knee and take the foot. Again, if you want a little more resistance, a little more heart opening, a little more twist instead of a quad stretch, really engage that back leg and send the foot into the hand. Gently release the foot. Plant your hands underneath your shoulders, lift the back knee up, and then on an exhale, press back into downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. And then come down to your hands and knees and crawl back towards the back end of your mat. We did this in a previous video. Inhale, lift your right leg back. Exhale, squeeze it in towards your chest, send it around, crossing your legs. Inhale, left leg up, squeeze it in and send it around. Right leg up, squeeze it in, send it around. Inhale, left leg up, squeeze it in and send it around. Inhale, right leg up, squeeze it in and come into half pigeon. Check and see and make sure that your legs are parallel with the mat. So your right leg is parallel with the edge of the mat and your left leg is as well. That'll help keep your hips squared. And then if this is intense where you're at, you just stay where you're at with your chest high. And then if you want to intensify the pose or go a little bit deeper, if you're more flexible, go ahead and fold forward. And then I take a bind here just in order to deepen the stretch in a little bit shorter amount of time. So sending my left arm straight across the top of my mat, my right arm up and behind my back. If you want to, you can reach all the way around with your top arm and grab your toe. Release your bind and come back to center. Plant your hands and come up. Take a deep breath in, tuck your back toe, and press back into downward facing dog. You can come into three-legged dog if you'd like, whatever feels good. And then back down to your hands and knees and back towards the back of your mat. And we'll start with the left leg. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, squeeze it in, bring it around. Inhale, right leg up, squeeze it in, and send it around. Inhale, send the left leg back. Exhale, squeeze it in towards the chest, then across and around. Inhale, right leg up, squeeze it in and around. Inhale, left leg up, squeeze it in and around, and come into half pigeon. Once you feel set and you've checked in on your legs, fold forward on an exhale, or just stay where you are if this is enough of a stretch for you. And again, you can take the bind here if you'd like, adding a little bit of a twist. It might be easier to bind on this side, it might be harder. Just notice and then let it go. Release your bind, come back to center, plant your hands and come up. Tuck your back toe and on an exhale, push back into downward facing dog. Three-legged dog if you'd like. And then back to downward facing dog. Come to the front of your mat. And then come on down to your butt. And we're going to come into shoulder stand here. Whatever relaxing inversion you'd like. If you want to just take waterfall with your block underneath your hips or just sending your legs straight up into the air, that's great. The idea is to get the feet higher than the head, the hips above the heart. If headstand is relaxing, you can come into headstand. With just a few breaths here. And then slowly come down. Place your hands underneath your sit bones and come up into fish. So your chest and throat are kind of laying back, relaxing, open, pointing your toes, lifting your legs if you'd like a little bit extra core work. Release your legs and come down. Squeeze your right leg in and twist towards the left. This should be fairly relaxing, very easy, not forcing anything. Bring your knee back to center. Squeeze your left leg in and then send it over to the right. Bring your knee back to center and relax into Shavasana, letting your breath come back to normal and your body just rest with all the new things that it's done. When you're ready, come up into a seat. Bring your hands to your heart center. And we end each class with a greeting that means the divine light in me sees and honors the divine light in you. So whatever you have to do after this practice, may you move from that intention. Take a deep breath in and say namaste.